space is quite lovely.
I wish I could just walk around in an undershirt like he can and look that good. That man is a legend.
Yo, so are you, and no one's saying you can't do that.
All right, maybe I got a surprise for us for the last game of the day. We'll see how that goes.
We will see indeed. I do want to just do a little bit of a setup, a little bit of a moose-bouche before we get into our match 5 of the day. How are we feeling going into this now that we've seen these teams play out on this map?
I think we've seen some good stuff from the teams. I want to see Liquid or Vitality do well in this one. I think Vitality played actually pretty well in that last match. If the circle favors them and ends up sort of, if we get a military circle, I'm very hyped to see what Vitality brings, but I think this next round is Liquid's game.
I think Erangel has a little bit more room to breathe now. I think in their area of the map, there's nobody contesting, so they might get closer to the center of the main island.
All right, is that your pick for the win this time, Erangel?
He's like, I don't want to throw any money behind that.
All I'm saying is they will not go that far off the map edge and lose time doing stuff that's not really necessary right now. They might be a little bit more efficient with their timing and rotations. And set to destroy, I think they got Lipovka right now since they pushed Knights away.
Okay, those are 2 picks that surprise me.
Yeah, you don't think Liquid?
No, your picks, I'm not surprised by. Your 2 picks, I'm like, okay, interesting, but I trust you.
Right. Well,
I want to trust you.
I mean, Set to Destroy did something very smart in the last game. They sent 2 in. They pushed, I think it was Drayden who was there in Lipovka, out of there and said, this is now ours. And you're right. They're not going to go back to Lipo. They're just going to go ahead and use their sort of crater mansion spread for Knights, I expect. And that gives a lot of extra loot to the guys from STD.
I'm so sorry, Chavis. I have to interrupt because the game has just started, so let's head on over to the casters now.
Thank you very much. Yes, in the words of the Red Hot Chili Peppers, the plane may start in the east, but at least it lands in a better location. It's heading to the west, coming straight over top of Lipovka to start, which is interestingly a point brought up by AIM that it was contested last time by Knights. They lost that. Do they go back there again? For FaZe, they get to Milta Power super early this time.
Yeah, it's a nice. I mean, this is a nice open plane. You know, it opens up to the most of the map. We have a Lipovka to the west coast kind of circle map plane. Sorry, from here. And as Marius or MPR said, Lipovka, you don't want to go again if you get killed and pushed out. So now Set to Destroy, they completely took out Lipovka. They're going to have 2 guys there.
I'm going to just throw a prediction out. We are going to see a battle between M19 and Liquid at some point in Yaz. There's no way they let each other live there three times.
It actually looks like right now I see some small lines there. They're kind of fighting and they're kind of pushing. Before, we kind of saw they respected each other's areas. Kind of split in the middle.
Draw a line down the center of the room. Don't cross it. This is my side.
Exactly. Big brother, the smaller brother, don't cross this street. Don't cross here. This is ours. And we might see some more pushing because they've actually taken over the southern apartments. And this is kind of where you slice it up, between the apartments with the city in the middle. But you still have GMC. Holy.
That's a
circle.
Okay, if we had all center circles on Miramar, we are getting the 100% opposite on Erangel. Yeah. Complete southwest with the whole peninsula in it. Now we get, this is almost 50% again, all on the east.
Yeah, I love these circles.
FaZe is going to be loving it as well. I mean, this is perfect for them.
This is great for FaZe. This is great for Knights. I kind of predict FaZe coming up around the prison mountain here. They love that.
This also means that the battle between Liquid and M19 has to happen.
It's going to happen most likely here. If it's going to happen in a game, it's going to be this one. I feel like M19, they kind of push down very aggressively. They have the guys in the southern part of the city. They're taking over more and more. Kind of usually it's, a 50-50 split. You stop, if you're the eastern team, you only loot until the church and the southern apartments. But they're kind of pushing in a bit more. But Liquid, I mean, they will bite. If you push in too far, they have 2 guys here in the southern apartments, and this is kind of where you stop. The southern apartments, the church, and then that's it. That's kind of where you split it. And then you take the eastern side for the rest. And then Liquid, they have the northern apartments, the western ones, and maybe some of the smaller houses in the middle, the middle mansions. But that's kind of dangerous territory. But still, it's like more than enough loot, more than enough cars. They still have all the cars from the west, all around the gas station, all around this bend here on the west side. Huge amount of cars there, so they get more than enough cars. But if I was Liquid at the moment, I would do the usual rotation. I would try to get as deep in the circle as possible, as early as possible.
Note just the rotation early on. King obviously didn't contest at Lipovka, but note the rotation from the similar color on the map, which is Lions. It's Chris. They send him early from Rozhok this time, and they want him to try and establish position that they can rotate into into later on.
Yep.
He's going to do it alone. And with Knights spread out, I'm sure if you know, these teams know, that's dangerous because he can easily be caught off in a one-on-one situation that there's no guarantee for.
Looks like they're going to crush to each other. Oh, they barely just hit each other, actually. I'm not even sure they were aware. But look at this. It's Chris. He's going to go in here. Fignaldo is actually losing his combat. He's going to keep it. He's going to actually shoot a bit at him, so he makes sure that nobody comes in. No, he's going to try to bait here. No shots taken yet. He only got 60 bullets in total for them 16 as well, so he wants to just save as much as possible.
Oh, I
That's
thought,
actually...
I thought we had a double drop. Sorry, it's actually a mark
single
on our monitor.
one.
Yeah,
it's a single
a little bit of
one,
dirt on the monitor.
Yeah, yeah. So that... multiple drops monitor right there.
Yeah.
No, but honestly here, the clever choice from Lions here, going as deep as possible. So, because you know, all of the pressure on the map is going to be in the western side of the circle. So you want to get as deep as possible. Make sure you take a position in the circle as east as possible so you can move in from the east where the least amount of teams is going to be. Chris here, he took a few shots. He's going to take the compound that one of them left, I think, actually. But we'll see from that. Moonwolf still in Milta, pretty good position to rotate in from, but they kind of still got to go past or through phase.
Okay, I'm a bit of a sadistic person. No one's going to go for that crate way out in the water.
No.
But I'd love to see if it has the AWM, just because it would be hilarious if it does.
I think we're going to have one of the observers already looking for it right now, and we're going to see in a few seconds. But
right,
phase actually, with this circle here, they're actually moving early. They're going to go until the usual compound they do. They're going to look at that. Oh, Grossa. Still
right,
15x though.
Yeah, that's
it has
not
the
bad.
15x. It's like this
I'm not a
second
15x
most
fan.
You're not?
No,
You can
but
read
I can
minds with
understand
that
it.
scope.
Yeah, probably. I don't know if you'd want to read my mind. It's a little bit messed up, but...
No, if we're playing PUBG, I want to be in your team. I heard you want to play with the car all the time.
All the time. Just give me the car 98. Let's go. Pop shots all day.
Yeah. Look at this phase. They're going to take the prison hill. As I talked about, they like to take the 2-2 split, the compound east of the prison, and then the small area around the ridges there. But they're actually fighting Knights for it. Knights, they know FaZe likes to go here, so they're going to take that for themselves. Because that's kind of deep in the zone here. We'll see FaZe. We'll see X City kind of maybe making a move, just moving from here, though.
Another interesting note, as we keep track of not only the rotations, but who's sending who where. In other words, who's not sticking together.
Yeah.
We already pointed out it's Chris. Jempty's by himself down at the south side past Milta Power, but it's McCoy again. That's on his own. Remember, he was caught out, and Ghost still managed the win in the last game. This time, he wants to hold toward the lumber mill, try and cover off that position. Tons of cover there to do it. But again, can't afford to get caught off, and his team, Ghost, actually has to go by Penta to get there. And Penta's moved in a little bit, which means they'll actually spot them. There's not a straight line in which those two teams connect. There has to be a slight confrontation. Now, where they're all in vehicles, they may not actually get into battle, but it's information nonetheless.
Exactly, and that's kind of what's the dangerous thing about rotating so far from each other is that you can get caught out single. So if you have a guy rotating 2 minutes early, then the information that he can give to you where he sees on the path, you will not have the same information. You cannot use any of that information. And also, Ghost is moving so far away from each other that they cannot use each other's information as well. What I like seeing from some of these teams, they rotate extremely close to each other, like kind of like a train.
Did Turtle bail on that?
Turtle is behind a rock.
Okay, he's behind the rock.
It looks like Profi. Yeah, we can see that. Looks like Profi. He pulled up on top here. He's going to try to save Turtle. He's running right now.
This is exactly it, because now it's Penta that spotted it. They have all that information. Turtle, you're right, is stuck in. He's going to run this. Thankfully, it's just ARs firing at him from that range. It's a scar. Okay, that's a bit optimistic, Kate. I admire it, but it's a bit optimistic to go full spray from that range.
Yeah. I mean, he did control it pretty well, but again, with a red dot, you're not going to connect that much. But as I said before, with these rotations, we see TG actually doing it. Team Gates are doing it very well. They're rotating very close to each other, kind of like a train wagon. You know, close to each other, you can relay information to each other. It's correct information. It's not outdated because it's not 1 minute ago that your teammate passed there. But look at this, so congested, so close. Nobody in the puff gap.
Gustav's doing damage on a Geeker right now as well, though, because Sengel got caught in rotation last time. Novo was the other team that was South George. They're going to spot the other three. So the fact that they're actually all split up right now, Dignitas getting good information. Geeker gets away. But I'm not sure that they're going to get completely out of it from the backside. Sangel's actually stopped and gotten out of the cars to fight against Nova, and Purdy's got a great angle. Can he get the shot? Not quite. I think they're just barely going to move on past this, as Shakey's only gets tagged once, and it's for a very fractional amount of damage.
That's kind of what the scary part is about here, is if you stop to shoot at somebody and they pass you, they can just stop next time, and then you have to pass them.
Yeah, leapfrog.
Exactly. So that's kind of the scary part. Now, though, Chronix is going to take down Turtle, so he's probably going to lose his life if that was on rotation. Brexco's going to pick that up, so they're done for.
Why doesn't Nova go to Novo?
It's a good question. If it was better planes and South Church was not completely available, they would probably go there. South Church is extremely good loot spawn. But they got all that to themselves, so they want to go there. And again, I mean, with this circle, it's going to be a rough rotation no matter what, even if you're in Novo. Vitality coming out of the military base, taking boats. I like it.
Yeah, but they've got the whole beach south side of Milta Power. They've got access to at this point. Obviously, they won't know that, but that's going to work out perfectly in their favor. The rest of the rotations, I don't think there'll be too many confrontations on the way through. Everyone seems to have a pretty clean line toward the circle. The only ones I think that are in the most amount of trouble is Dignitas know that Sangel's going to be rotating in from above them. They would have heard that confrontation with Nova. Potential that they could gatekeep it. So far, they want to clear past Lipovka, or excuse me, past Yaz and try and work down in. This is going to be a massive fight. Look at the coastline right now.
Now we actually have Liquid and Team Gates fighting here. BC is going to get knocked and finished off with Mossy. Now Samsi's going to take some shots as well. They actually have a 1-1 split going right now. Samsi's in this compound by himself, and they got the hill to the east of it as well. So look at this, James Scoom here. Super unfortunate for them losing one player this early.
Yeah, Liquid's not having an easy day. It seems like they're trying to rotate early for position, and they just always get caught off by... I almost just want to say misfortune. It's not like the rotations are necessarily ill-advised, but there's always one person that happens to spot them in it, and suddenly they're engaged in a fight that they're not really positioned for. And again, as you say, they're already down a player. Ooh. So too is Sengel, and that's exactly it. Dignitas knew they were coming from that direction. Shaky said nowhere to go, and Adam's now going to try and fire down the hill as well. They tag once.
So a little blood splatter there. That's just one shot, though. There are two guys on the bike, so they're just sprinting towards the middle here. Kalimdor is taking down a bit here. He's sitting on the back. Gustav and the guys from Dignitas, they're in a pretty good position here, though. Wildcard also making a move. One of the latest, they just got into the new circle here, so they're just taking one of the western compounds, hoping for a shift towards them.
Do you gamble on this circle? I mean, you know the rotations are going to be simply... sorry, not the rotations, but the algorithm's going to get away from water, and the most amount of land in the circle is south. Do you think Navi's in a perfect position? Vitality? FaZe is almost rotated out of their home territory.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, with this circle, if you're a western side team, you get in late to the circle and hope for a shift, and then you push on that shift. It's the fourth circle, so we're in the first right now.
Yeah,
on the fourth circle, it's only the fourth circle and the eighth circle that pushes away from water. In this position, I don't want to go into, in personal opinion, I don't want to see teams going into Lipovka. I don't want to see teams being in there, because if it shifts away from Lipovka, you're going to be running, parallel with teams. You're trying to get outside a city that you just can't exit from, because there's going to be teams gatekeeping you. There's going to be teams fighting to get with you outside that zone.
Well, Navi's got a gift of not only freedom of movement down toward the southwest of the circle at Milta, but they've also now literally gotten a gift.
Yep.
In the form of a crate. It's an AUG, and obviously it comes along with a fantastic upgrade for Uba, because he'll go from a tier 1 to a tier 3 helmet as well as a vest.
That's an insane upgrade right there.
I do love an AUG.
55% damage reduction compared to 30. That's insane.
I absolutely hate when, as you say, I play Car 98 all the time. When you see a guy peek with tier 3 helmet, I almost miss every shot, because I'm like, well, this is pressure. It's not going to kill him right away. Yeah, it's the intimidation factor of it.
Oh, what a southern shift. Look at this. Now Vitality, they're literally turning the boats right now. They're going to go on the beach, and they're going to take the big Milta Power area. Look at this perfect position.
And Navi doesn't need to move either, because again, the fourth circle comes next.
Exactly.
It absolutely it doesn't have to go that direction, but chances are it's going to.
And this is the time for them. When you get a shift like that, this is the time for them to push as far into that circle as possible, because they can be so greedy with this. So they need to go into as much room as possible, because they know the majority of the teams is not going to be as south as them. So they just need to stop, scout, make sure that the compounds are safe, and then push into a safe position. Look at all the teams. The migration, the big migration is going to start. But Liquid, they have stopped on top of this hill. They're going to be taking shots at everybody coming past them.
The SD gets information as to where they are. And this doesn't surprise me at all. Big swings, massive wide rotations to play along the blue. Nova want to get down there. They know where the circle's going. No need to go through it. WC is going to do the exact same thing. Wildcard, winner of game 1. Remember, if you didn't catch that on Miramar, had a great start, sat 4th overall after the third game. Didn't catch where they were in the standings after the last. And Dignitas doing the same thing. All of the teams that were out of the circle and didn't have a direct line, this makes perfect sense. The problem is now it's going to put pressure on Navi. So I said they didn't have to move. They actually read this very well. So good mid-round calling, as we would say in CS. It's kind of big game calling in this.
Yep.
But to move back in and get more central in this positioning. but we have 16 teams alive. It's only the 13-minute mark, but there's not really a lot of territory left right now.
No, this is kind of the beginning. The big strategies come out right here. This is not the time to fight. This is time to scare everybody off. Make sure that you're a puffer fish. Make sure that your areas you want to keep it, because you're not sure where the circle is going to go. It's only the second circle. We have 6 more to go. But look at this Phosphate. He's going to take down Battalions and push even further.
Oh, wow.
And took down Elite player as well. Close. No scar yet. Oh, here we go. He's going to take down 2 of those players and securing them immediately as well. Unfortunately for M19.
This is big for FaZe. This could be a game in which they really make their mark on the leaderboard. Again, last game they went out just outside of the top 10, so it hasn't been a perfect day for them. You guys have all noted it. They're not tier 1, or excuse me, not tier 1. They're absolute tier 1. They're not day 1 team per se. But don't rule them out of any game at any time. As M19 start to struggle for territory, flipped car in the open, disable it as best you can, XMP, and have to hold and wait, because meanwhile FaZe is working in from above. Good position on the high ground of the hill. And it's STDX, excuse me, coming around from toward Lipovka that's now going to get into battle with Sampty, who's very split up once again. M19, they're going to lose 2. Jempty's got another kill on the nade.
Yeah, he finished out. That's the knock inside the smoke. He underhand threw it just to clear the smoke. He thought there might was a rest coming off inside the smoke just to clear it here. But we saw example on that car. He's just still there. He's sitting inside the turned car, is he though?
I thought he was going to get out and try and...
He's still inside the car.
Absolutely just sitting in it. And it is the enclosed version, so he can be... It's harder
right
to
next
spot
to them.
him.
Chilling.
That's unreal. I love it. This guy's my favorite player of the day. Sampty, you're about to get one up. You watch. He's going to get a kill out of that. I'm going to say it right now.
Hey, you saw Knights. They were right next to him. 4 guys alive. Imagine they run past him, fight with FaZe, and then you third party that and win that fight. That would be perfect. I love that.
Interesting position from Sengel as well.
Crit.
This is it. Yeah, and that's an MK14, I should say, yes.
And beautiful with the extended quick mag that now goes on it because
exactly,
of the DMR. I love that.
That's amazing. And the MK14 to me has actually become viable more recently with the DMR update. But
I like it.
It's the 8-time scope that interests me on it, just about any weapon at this type of game.
I like the MK14. Also the auto. Like if you're struggling, if you don't have a very good close combat weapon, if you have a tier 2 gun, whatever, you have an M16, then you rather want to play with MK14. Auto, 61 damage per shot. Most DPS except the Vector, I think. Example here, still sitting in that car.
This guy's amazing.
This guy's...
I don't see why he would move.
None.
Have they read it?
He got some damage there. Do they know he's still in there?
I think they might have thought he was behind it.
Maybe.
And that nade was well positioned to go behind it. So have they read? Texas, the fact that they've done that makes me it suggests to me that they're going to keep an eye on it.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure he'll have quite the dark horse approach that he was hoping in this. Meanwhile, Vitality swinging back toward Milton Power. Keep an eye on Azrael. This shift. So it does go away from water. I was about to say Sengol might have to be careful here holding this wall. This actually is not a bad position for them to be in.
It's a great position, especially for Moonwolf, for Na'Vi as well. We saw them. They came in super late. Na'Vi in this position, we know it's going to go even further away from water. That was the third circle in the white. The fourth circle is going to go completely away from water. It's only going to be 800 meters, so it's going to be congested just around here on Ghost and Na'Vi.
Example is the last alive for M19, by the way. And he is sitting in that car. I hope that's strategic. Let's see if he can make some kills off of it. Meanwhile,
he didn't want to go out in 16. I understand.
That's rightfully so. Now, meanwhile, Liquid, with cars still well enabled, have position to move. They've not been pulled apart this time. Meanwhile, Ghost still has McCoy in the center, and Bullock trying to work behind him, but there's a huge swing coming from Prison and heading in toward the lumber mill. Massive bowl that you can play beside the Harry Potter tower, if you will.
Yeah.
And FaZe seem to have that position. That gives them coverage from down the hill where Liquid wants to work up with gems, and they can actually engage and control the engagement on Team Gates from that position if they want to. Example is out of the truck, so I was being pessimistic. I'm so used to seeing technical issues in Counter-Strike that I thought maybe something happened. But either way, the exact player we pointed out, Tex was aware of what was going on, I think, the whole time. Because as soon as he popped out to try and heal himself up, Tex takes the shot. They will bow out in 16th place. So M19 unable to get much done. And unfortunately, cleverness doesn't pay off. But it's all about the lumber mill at this point in time.
I like this sneaky place just sitting in the car. I mean, that's the most fun and beautiful place if you survive that. Fortunately, still 16 for them. Mossy here, and as you said, lumber mill. 3 teams here. Knights look like they're also coming that way. You have Lions and Ghosts as well, gatekeeping them if this next zone or the zones after that shift away from it.
Well, and the zone next is massive because that road right down the middle it is like painting a line down the middle of a room.
Oh, for sure.
Because not only do you have to come off the hills to do it, you have to leave the lumber mill as we get engagement from Team Gates finally to find Kaint, and they're going to follow that up. Chronix to throw an 8 in the same direction. One knock, Mossy gets away, and he's going to try and swing back around onto them toward his teammate. Rex is already trying to get toward Kaint as well, so it's a smoke that time from him?
It's an 8.
It is an 8, okay.
Yeah. Oh, they could have jumped up to him. MK14 here and Chronix, they're going to get Kaint up, but they want to push him. They got to knock, they got to push him. But they're doing it too slow. So just positioning again, trying to nade them a bit here, trying to nade over the top of the hill.
To finish the point, you have to leave the hill and cross the road. There's also small power that's going to be contested, not to get too far away from that. Nova versus Vitality in that sense, but it is TG and Penta that are the closest to engagement. The resurrection means the engagement potential isn't exactly there anymore. Knights has line of sight onto them, and they're going to fire in that direction.
Yeah. I mean, Wildcard here in the south as well, they're also going to join the small Milton. It's actually kind of in the edge here, so if it swings away from them, we're going to have 3 nearly full teams that's going to take a fight for that.
This is I think, going to be a fun game, because we're at the 20-minute mark, and all but one team still in this, and all with 3 players or more.
Yeah.
This is going to be an absolute brawl.
Nova very deep in here. Vitality just kind of gatekeeping them. They're just waiting for the next zone. They know that the 4th circle is going to go away from water, but does it go slightly towards the south or slightly towards the northwest? We'll see here as it closes in. Set to destroy in the Milton Power region. They're just kind of waiting. I'm not sure if they ditched their cars yet, because they're going to need them if they have to cross the road. As you said, kind of painting through the middle here. Beautiful by the observers here. If you're on foot and you have to cross the road later, it's just going to be so hard because everybody's going to be having their eyes on you. And now the zone is closing, and the next zone is going to pop. And as you said, completely away from water in the southwestern side. Look at this 1-1-1 split that Ghosts have going. Completely open for everything. This is nice, but in the 4th circle, you're going to get breached. You're going to get crashed from the teams. There's teams that's going to come in from everywhere, and they're going to crash you.
Liquid's got a bit of a precarious situation as well. They're engaging down the hill toward Azrael, but as soon as they do that, Knights, do they try to engage onto it, or they just try and work their way in? Meanwhile, Jempty still with high ground, good position to be in for phase fires in that direction. Again, they can play this pole. They've actually got really solid positioning. In fact, I would argue probably the best positioning currently. The only one they have to worry about is Knights that are coming out of prison and heading directly toward Fuzzface. TG preoccupied will get spotted. Hax is taking the shots to them. Knights actually getting engaged by TG. That'll soften them up. FaZe can 3rd man this and gatekeep almost at the same time, but meanwhile, Fuzzface isn't looking that direction. They need to be aware, but Mexi's going to look back. Vitality finally getting out from small. There's fights on the top and bottom of the circle. Take your pick, because both of these influence massively who's going to get high ground, but FaZe still inside of it. It's Nova instead. Yannick down, spotting out Vitality. They'll continue to swing back and try and compensate for the loss of their teammate. They know they're over toward the blue crates. Jazz is tasked with watching that. Obligation one way for him. The others still have to work about inside of the building directly. And Purdy, he'll get up above them. High ground. Potentially looked at that as an 8.5. Oh, no. Is it? That looked so perfect.
That could have been insane, that nade, because he's literally holding him off for pushing him. Now Smithy's going to go for another nade, and that might pop up. And just, that's a nice cook. Perfectly cooked, just nading above him. Super nice play here from Smithy. Nice nade. Jazz is going to just see if he can survive a bit here, because he's got a few teammates that might be able to resurrect him. Purdy, though, half HP, and now set to destroy. They're pushing for Big Milta, and they're going to 3rd party this fight as well.
STDX, they haven't been in on too many yet. They can absolutely jump in. Na'Vi's still aware that this is going on. They've got 2 players on either side of the road. They're basically in a 2-2 and can't really support off each other, but Drainey still takes down Shadow. He 3rd mans into this fight. That is small Milta. Loss still trying to get a position to support Purdy. Meanwhile, Kick starts catching them in transition. It's XTDX thinking they were getting in late, getting in clean. They will get there as they get lost down and finish him off, but they have to be cautious. WC is actually giving their position away, because don't forget, Dignitas is still down coming out of Milta as well. This is massive. Surprisingly, this fight transpired and will transpire and continue to do so as the zone comes in more than those at Lumber, who are all being timid and jockeying for position rather than actually engaging.
Yeah, and Ghost, I actually expected them to go to again.
Wookie this guy
Bookie
on a Car 98. I want to play with him. Let's duo. Let's Car 98 duo. Me and Wookie Bookie. I'm in.
He's an amazing shot. The land giant himself, standing nearly 2 meters tall, and is an amazing shot with the sniper. Favorite player from Denmark? Oh, I have multiple. I like all of them.
Danes are good at gaming.
They are. I mean, again, we talked about it. You know, we're in hibernation for 9 months of the year, right? So we have lots of time to play.
That kill was, I think, coming forever. Azriel just sitting and waiting, knew that
Yeah.
Senegal was beside him. He catches out the BSD late. Now he can actually work in, but he's going to be gate kept. Moonwolf have a line of sight. He has to get in. Scoom's aware of this, I think, as well, because he's starting to swing just in front. Liquid kind of sparsely spread out on this hillside, but still close enough with no one in between they can support. And there it is. Azriel gets spotted. Scoom was aware. They turn around. They'll finish him off completely, as well as Lions want to try and swing back from the other side, pinch them in. It's Knights on the rotation, the same direction. Absolutely a three-way fight in that position of the map as WC start to find Na'Vi. They're burrowed into a compound, but here comes the shift, and it goes south. That pulls everyone from the lumber mill.
And this is fantastic for Ghost. They have 2 guys in the only Harry Potter houses that are in this map currently. Dignitas on the south, they sent 1 guy out to go towards, the kind of ditch there is north of this compound in the south. Wildcard in a good position as well. Na'Vi, as we talked about, still good position at the moment, but they're going to shift slightly towards the south as well. Look at this.
Jazza swings. I don't think he's aware. There's a res going on that's clearly in the open. If he can swing now, it's too late. They've already got him up, so Snicker's going to get away from that. Washout, meanwhile, gets Chris. That's another Lions member down. They were absolutely impressive on Miramar so far. They haven't had the same success. We still, with Sengel finally getting caught off, only have 2 teams out of this 24-minute mark, and now into the 5th circle. Well into it as well. FaZe have gone early, and I don't blame them for that. They had a line to get out of the lumber mill. There was no one in front of them, and they'll get to the center of the circle, but there's not, as you mentioned, a lot of cover up in that position.
No, they're going to be pushing straight onto McCoy, and McCoy is actually going to be taken down, and Mexi's going to take over that position, and now they have the most center position with cover in the current zone. Moonwolf as well is fighting, and look at this, all is going down. Shade is going to take down Phosphase, Mexi is going to take down McCoy, Berkshire is going to go down, Monkey's going to go down from Smithy, and Nova is going to be out in this. Jazza took him down, and now look at this, only Jazza from Vitality is left from that on this Molten Power.
Ghost as well. Ghost is almost weighing out their odds.
Yeah.
They're not playing for a win by any means, but they're trying to play for going deep inside of the top 5. They're spread out, and they can try and take engagements sparsely and perhaps bait other teams in. Good play from James, wrapping back around. He'll find Sonic, finish him off immediately. Take no chances, and Lions once again will bow down early. They've only got 1 player left alive. Liquid. Can they sneak past the last remaining player? Chris has nothing to lose, but at the same time, I say that, and he could play for survival. So letting Liquid go may not be the worst thing in the world after 2 poor games from Lions. Comparative, again, first international land, by all means, we're punching above their weight, but comparative to the way that they started for them.
Yeah. I mean, they have about 100 meters into the zone. Liquid knows, with smokes popping off, they know it's going to be there. Profi, though, he's snaking. He made a run for it. He's inside the zone now. He's going to be around the rocks.
So Krama's got mortified down. Knights will get heals in as they try and gatekeep the gates, quite literally, and they will. Drayden's going to take down Mossy. I don't see a world that they get in, but Penta's got position on Bullock, who's now spotted them and is trying to fire out. Meanwhile, Dig has not moved from the bottom side. This circle's going to move soon. And FaZe are dead centered in it without much confrontation. Drainy, great shot, catches Liquid running down. Again, they get caught in transition. It's only 1 player gone for them. Scoom, Sampty, they're still up in it. Smokes, they're trying to get to the res. Drainy's lost position on it, and I think they have to leave Sampty for dead at this point in time.
Oh, look at this. Those pre-fire around, because you know he's going to be close to the tree. Just trying to pre-fire that tree. Phosphase, though, taking down Texas. So Knights there are knocked again. They still have 3 members standing. They might be able to take down, take up Texas again. Now this shift west. FaZe, huge potential to gatekeep all the south and southeastern teams.
And Jempty, the fact that they've got 4 still in this, Jempty getting so much information as to all of those engagements. Look at the engagements down toward Knights. Foxic finally knocked. They should be able to res him before the blue gets anywhere near. But still, that slows their progress down. Jempty doesn't have to do much here. Spotted from range. Fuzz face with a shot from FaZe. He's got damage. He's got it.
That's
Sampty
Liquid
gone.
out. 9th. That's a kind of rough spot compared to how good position they were in the beginning. They lost EP early, and then from there, it just kind of went downhill. They did get 4 or 5 kills. Jimbo actually, or James actually got all of them. But Penta here, good position. They got the western shift. Balak is close to them. He's just gonna lay low here. He doesn't want to take a fight with them, because if they hear it's only 1 guy, they're gonna push him.
Every team with 4 players alive, excepting of Penta. There's 5 teams with 4 alive. There's 6, excuse me. I told you not to do maths on stream.
Yeah.
Every team is outside of the circle. The only one that has all of their team in is Penta right now, and there's really no one to contest because they've got the blue already against the wall, against the circle. So they've got a fantastic position. The transition from the south is already starting. WC is going to split 2-2 to try and get moving. They've already crossed the street, so too have Na'Vi in the same approach. Poca will be the last one to do so, and Dignitas is almost sitting back with 2 players getting in early, the other 2 sitting back to try and catch out players in transition. So it's really about how smartly and conservatively you can get toward the position required. Knights, meanwhile, might be Jempty's demise.
Knights in a very good position, but they're going to be running in the open, and Fuzzface, they're going to be taking so much shots at them. They're not even inside the zone yet. Hexeti's going to take down one. Jempty's going to take down another.
Yeah, and Jempty can push this. Now that his teammates actually can spot that and take them down so low, he knows they're weak. Jempty's going to go in. This is easy picking for him. Already, it's going to be Haxi from range. Last player up, and Jempty's there. Perfectly done from FaZe. I thought he was pinched with nowhere to go, and immediately he gets support from Fuzzface. He knew that they were weak, and he jumps in, but Profi's still behind him from Ghost Gaming, and Jempty might have a full sense of security knowing that he's gotten so much to work with. Profi's gone for a nade, thinking that he's still looting perhaps in that position. The fact that he throws that nade now reveals that he's still in that position. Jempty becomes aware of it.
Now Profi's going to make a run for it. He's going to get to the rocks. Those are inside the zone. He's just going to get as deep as possible and lay low. Jempty's playing this very aggressively. Now Shade and Na'Vi, they're pushing onto FaZe.
Yeah, huge push, Na'Vi. They took advantage of this. Everyone's eyes were well and removed toward the north where they were supporting Jempty. The fact that Na'Vi comes in late, they do a tremendous job, and there it is. Profi caught off Jempty. The one player from Ghost Gaming could actually cost FaZe everything, as it's a battle for the high ground inside of the Harry Potter house. Uba's outside. He's the only one available as Hax wants to play on the windowsill. Can't afford any movement go wrong. If he steps 1 foot too far beyond that window, he's done for. So instead, underhand nade wants to throw it down. These two teams almost could ignore each other at this point in time. The nades work. That'll be the engagement. Hax knows it. Doesn't want to drop down as of yet. The fact that these two teams are fighting welcomes everyone to rotate in around them. Another nade will get in position. It's a smoke to try and get Uba back toward the door.
Imagine if they drop down here and take everybody out. Hexeti, Fuzzface, they need to do something. They're gonna, oh! That's actually Balak here. Penta's trying to breach him. They're gonna try to wipe them out, but back to the important fight here. Hexet is gonna take down Shade as well. Oh, Hexet is taken down to nothing, and he's only got 5 bandages left. Fuzzface got to put, oh, he's got 2 actually, so he can actually share, but now they want to keep fighting. They want to keep out throwing out nades. Now the next zone has popped, and they've got to move. They've got to move.
This is okay. Not to be misled. This is spectator smoke. That's a good smoke, and he's going to leave his teammate. Haxi's left alone. You said it doesn't have health. The 3 smokes down from Fuzzface. He's gone. He's actually going to get out. And the fact that Haxi stays alive means he can actually fire at Na'Vi in the back while they try and run, giving Fuzzface position to gatekeep. This is a good pinch play from FaZe. It's arguably not going to win them this game, but it will get them further kills, and it could be the end of Na'Vi if they're not careful. 4 players still alive for Na'Vi in that position. Meanwhile, Penta has managed to clear Ghost out of their position at top of the building. It's just Profi that's left. He'll be a snake. We already saw him get the 1 kill on Jempty, but he's gone very quiet, as a Ghost should do, since. And as a result of that, no one's going to be aware that he's sitting on the north, waiting for this information. Fuzz is gone. Uba's going to spot it. Nowhere to hide. He just barely gets under a ditch in the backside. Meanwhile, WC wants the 3rd man in on this, and they'll get close, but how much battle can they do? Uba's already got an off angle from them up the hill ever so slightly. Oh man, Pride going to the iron sights down the red dot, nearly blocked his own vision of a player directly in front. But so far, the favor is WC.
Oh,
short
nice
shot,
push.
no, beautiful from Shady. Gets around the corner. He might get away. Uba's going to defend him. Uba had the position the whole time, and Na'Vi stay alive. In fact, with 3 players, as they'll give up 1, and that is all. Poka's in fact going to drive even a little bit closer to make sure the blue will do no damage onto him, and they start the push up the hill with Dignitas swinging in their direction.
Nice push, nice play by Wildcard, by extremely nice play by Na'Vi. 12 kills already. We have 15 alive. They could get much more. Fuzzface, he just needs to survive this fight though. Dignitas have 4 guys alive. They heard this fight. They want to push on Na'Vi, but it might be a bit too late here. They don't have the information, and now Na'Vi can just lay low, boost up, make sure they're full health, and I'll just want to wait for the next circle.
The open side of this circle at the bottom, though, without much cover, is actually perfect for a guy like Profi and Fuzz, both of whom are solos but don't want to engage. Fuzz, a little bit less so, let's be honest. He's in the middle of everyone. Profi knows it. Oh, well, okay. Never mind, Profi. I'm sorry I jinxed you. That's commentator's curse if I've ever seen it.
Yep.
You no longer have positional advantage. That's been removed. Fuzzface, on the other hand, now does.
He's in a good position here. Penta now, they heard Dignitas earlier. They fought them, and then they spotted them a bit, so they're going to start fighting. And look at this. Connex, they're in a good position in the zone. I'm not sure they want to take this fight at the moment, because they have a good position, and they know there's so many live. You see there's 15 people live. You're 4 strong. You kind of want a 3rd party instead, because you have the positional advantage in the new zone. And they have the high ground as well. Good ridges, good cover, everything. They can just stay and wait for this. There's 2 guys inside the zone just making sure that everything is clear on the top side. And then they have Udu and Kane on the top, making sure that nobody's coming in from the north, you know, making a wide shift around them. Bokamolodoi, though, 5 kills on Uber, 5 on Drainy. They've been fragging out this game. Chronic though, he spotted Dignitas.
That MK14.
Yeah.
Trying to get down the hill as best he can with it. Ratch, meanwhile, still holding as well. Nade, a little bit long. Good effort. Doesn't move Chronix from position at all. They still have the backside, but here comes Penta. Penta swinging in actually could be the problem for Dignitas because that gives Na'Vi a chance to push. This is absolutely a three-way fight. Fuzz is not willing to engage. Profi's still late to come in the wide side just to give you the context of it. But right now, this is all about the four-man battle with Penta, and they won't fully commit to it. They've got 2 players on swing, 2 players peeking over the hill, but they'll stay in a position to res themselves. The problem is with 1 player now going down, it's a chance to engage, and Dignitas wants it. Chronix, he's tagged extremely low. They've got problems. Penta, again, they didn't want to put it all their eggs in one basket. They wanted to make sure that if things went wrong in the south, they could still hold the north side. Things have gone very wrong, but thankfully Kate turns it around and Poke is gone. Na'Vi down a man. 2 teams only with 4 players left alive, and that's changed. Dignitas, they immediately lose 1. Gustav, the man to fall. Adam still has to play the backside of the hill. He knows Penta's all in front of him, and they're very low. All 3 down on the ground. It's Undir that has to try and hold this off, and Adam doesn't want to overcommit to the engagement because the smoke's behind. Na'Vi are engaging in turn onto them. He had a massive chance to potentially wipe a team, but he's held off of it. He's timid in doing so. Fuzz has sat there and listened to all of this.
He just knows everything, all information right now. He knows Navi's down to 1 or 2 players. He knows Dignitas are caught off hand, but now they got all the rests off. They're going to be standing 4-man strong on the top. Dignitas is going to be 3-man strong. This might turn out to be, you know, a 1v1 in the end.
The fact that Penta keep everyone alive while 3 players were knocked is remarkable. Adam had a chance to push that, but you can see it. He's thinking long-term, and he doesn't want to take the chance with Na'Vi still so low. Nate goes in. It's Shady that's actually going to fall on Sybil to kill from Dignitas. Now Fuzz starts to engage. Now he starts to move. No more circles. It's all about Blue moving in endlessly as Wookie Bookie finds one of these from us, but excuse me, on the Scar, but Fuzzface strikes late, and he gets the kill.
He's gonna get the win.
Done it as well.
Oh my
Fuzzface
God.
stayed alive. FaZe pinching everyone in, and he, who saved his teammate Jempty from range, gets out with 3 smokes and manages to survive all the way to the end. FaZe finally get a win.
Oh my God, what an insane win. 7 kills on Fuzzface. What a machine. What a timing.
That's huge.
We talked about it. A 1v1 in the end. It happened. Fuzzface completely clutched it.
Huge from FaZe. And look, they don't look super convinced by that. Obviously, a win's a win. 7 kills is massive for him to pick up alone. I think as a team, what do they have? Set to 12 kills. But he had 7, and he was left alone when there was still 6 other teams. He just stayed silent, listened to the whole fight going on around him, and Dignitas and Na'Vi doing so much damage to each other, he pops out at the perfect time. That's, I mean, that right there, remember that in the context of this event. If FaZe are in a close battle toward the end of this on points, remember that game, because that's a hero play from him.
That's, 300 points for the win, 120 points for the kills. That's a 420-point chicken dinner. Absolutely insane. And also, remember, Profi was on his back. He heard him sneak up, and he took him out as well while everything was happening down on the west side. What an insane game. I did not expect FaZe to be able to pick this up, or Fuzzface.
I mean, I even said it, and this is perhaps contextually puts more on it. I said when they split up and got out of the Harry Potter Tower, when he bailed on Hex, Hex also did his job. He didn't have any heals, left his teammate with them. You said he could have shared. He kept them both on his side, bandaged up, and then took the fight in the back of Na'Vi, keeping them just distracted enough. I said it then and there. I said they're not playing to win this. They're just playing to get as many kills as they can at this point. Turns out they got a number of kills and the win.
Perfect positioning, perfect decision making. You saw the smoke wall he made. He pushed out 3 smokes to
That was cool, actually.
And he pushed on the right side where he had vision, but Na'Vi was on the left side of it when you saw it. Perfect decision making. Nice split up right there. Fantastic play by FaZe. Deserved win, to be honest.
Yep.
And this position, kind of lucky with everything going down. We kind of expected, Penta or Dignitas being able to clutch it out, but they just went full head on head.
Luck doesn't exist without some sort of preemptive setting toward it. You have to be able to create your luck. It doesn't come out of nowhere, and he played that brilliantly to get to that far in that position. So absolutely, you can't win it alone. But man, oh man, what a win. FaZe absolutely deserve it as Fuzzface earns it for them, and Dave is standing by with them. Some fuzz on Dave's face.